That's normal Mclaren, normal Mclaren, normal Mclaren, then like sort of like the other ones end like back here, and this one just keeps going. So erectile dysfunction is a medical condition where your winky doesn't work the way you want it to, right? Doesn't affect everybody, but it does affect a lot of guys, and a lot of guys that are affected by it don't generally seek treatment because it's an embarrassing thing to go discuss with a doctor or even your spouse or somebody else. It's easier to come up with an excuse. Oh, stress at work, whatever, whatever, whatever. Don't do that. That's where today's video sponsor, Roman, is here to help. With Roman, it's easy to talk about it with a healthcare professional who can prescribe real medication. It's simple, it's safe, and totally discreet. You can get a free online evaluation and ongoing care for ED, all from the comfort and privacy of your home. The healthcare professional will work with you to find the best treatment plan. If medication is appropriate, Roman will ship it to you with free 2-day shipping. The whole process is straightforward, simple, and discreet. Getting started is simple. Just go to GetRoman.com/SSR and complete an online visit. Erectile dysfunction used to be tough to tackle, but now there's Roman. Complete an online visit today to connect with a healthcare professional and get it taken care of. So visit GetRoman.com/SSR. It's going to save you $15 off your first order, and you're going to get free 2-day shipping. That's GetRoman.com/SSR. I put a link right below in the description. GetRoman.com/SSR. What's up, everybody? Rob Ferretti here outside of Mclaren. There you go. You got them all over the place. Mclaren of North Jersey, which is conveniently where we're going to be starting our next adventure drives. And I'll get into that in a second. But we're going to do 3 adventure drives trips this summer, and the next one is starting and going up to Vermont. And I'll tell you the methodology behind that, but first let's check out some cool cars. I'll put a link below in the description if you guys want to jump in on that. But let's see this nice glowing red desk, quite bright, but they've got one of the coolest cars in production today, which is the Mclaren Speedtail, which is designed for top speed and is pretty damn cool, and they're gonna let me sit in it, so I'm excited for that. And this will also be here when we start our trip. Look at that. So this car, oh, look at this. I will always like this car because this is essentially the replacement for the F1, right? The center seat configuration was something that everybody was like, oh, it's the coolest thing about the Mclaren F1. It's got the center seat. It's where you should be, sitting in the middle of the car. And they kept saying you should bring it back, and they finally did with this car. And it's just, the one thing you're going to notice about it is it's really long. Like, you start there, that's normal Mclaren, normal Mclaren, normal Mclaren, then like sort of like the other ones end like back here, and this one just keeps going. It's almost like that, that Rolls-Royce boat feel to the back here. But this thing is all about speed, which is essentially what you're looking for with a car. And if you see things pop open and everything like that, that's Alan. He's just making things happen for me while I'm over here. Luggage capacity of not much. This, very lightweight. So this is the only trunk? Or there's side custom luggage? Yeah. I'm gonna take, I don't normally do this, but I'm gonna take my shoes off to get in this one. Because I see people doing that, and I'm like, oh, how nice. So the proper etiquette when getting into said vehicle is probably...
There's a grab handle.
Oh, there's a grab handle.
There. So that kind of feel it?
Oh yeah, I feel the grab handle. Look, there's a grab handle here. So you probably...
Oh my gosh.
What?
I don't think I would ever be able to get in this car.
Yeah, with your back issues? All right. You know what? I'm not going to lie. And I can potentially, if the key was in it, try to gone in 60 seconds this thing, but I just don't see that working out well for me. But this is pretty cool. You're allowed to have skinny friends when you have a car like this, but if you can afford a car like this, all you know is supermodels, which is cool. Look at this. Oh, you guys are both skinny. You could fit in here with me.
Oh, I know I fit.
This is cool. Like I would start guessing what the buttons do.
So weird.
There's a velocity button in a sports car. What does that mean? It goes faster.
So that lowers the suspension and gets you max power. So it gives you the
Lowers the
full
suspension,
1,055.
max power. How much is it?
3.5.
No, how much is the power? The additional?
1,055 combined.
1,055 power. Wow, horsepowers. All the puppies. This is all standard McLaren stuff, but this makes the doors go up, windows, traction control, because why do you need traction control when you have 1,000 horsepower? This is cool. See, now the McLaren F1, the only difference is it's manual, so I think you'd have a shifter here, which sort of takes away from this person's leg room, but this thing is standard paddle shift. These screens are what, my mirrors?
Correct.
These ones.
Yeah.
Right here.
Oh, what are those?
That's your mirrors.
So I'm going to shut one of the doors, you'll see.
Oh, cool. We're going to shut the door.
And you'll see that line on the screen, that's your sight line.
Oh, yeah, look at that. There's the roof. Oh, that's what you look like. And that's just your legs. Oh, look, there's a, you can't even see, because, there we go. It was black, but there's a Senna LM behind me, too. That's pretty cool. So this car's got 9 miles on it, and it could be yours for $3.5 million, which is cool. Like, I'm not in the realm of buying cars like this. Like, me to buy, like, something that's $500,000 is a lot. But for people that have money to buy cars like this, I totally understand it. Because this is, like, just, you don't even have to drive it. You just have to show people you have it, and you go sit and, oh, this button does this button does that. But I think the cool thing about this, and like the good thing about McLaren, is they walk the walk. When they make a performance car, it performs. And this one, can you like, no you can't. I was gonna be like, can the people in the back hold hands? That would be cute. Anyway, if you want to see this, come check out this car. We're starting here on the, I'm putting a link right below in the description, June 12th to 13th. I'm going to see if I can, let's put a word into McLaren if I could take this on the trip. 700 miles in a 9-mile car. Not really much, right? No, probably not. They love me over there. But either way, very cool little luggage compartments here. Oh, there's your luggage door. That just keeps going down there. But Speedtail, cool. Check it out. I'll get to why I made this video and why we're doing trips to Vermont when I get back in my car in a second. But come check it out, June 12th. All right, guys, here I am, Shoreham, Vermont, Whistle Pig Farm. Very cool. This is the home of where they barrel and produce all of the high-end whiskey that they make, which is actually terrific. And we're doing another adventure drive coming here on the 12th and the 13th, as I said, at McLaren. Now, I decided to take adventure drives downstream a little bit. And when I say downstream, lower the price point to make it more accessible to a lot of people. How do you do that? You either have to offer them less or essentially just make a shorter trip. And now we went from the longer trips to the shorter trips. From 2015 to today, we went from having 1 trip a year to 3 trips a year to now we're doing 6 trips a year, and then private events and corporate events. So we've got a lot on the table. I think even 7 trips this year. So we're doing a lot. This trip coming up on June 12th and 13th is actually going to be from New York to Vermont. As I said, starting at McLaren, coming up, having lunch on a lake. Then we're at Whistle Pig for a private tasting, going up to Stowe, Vermont. In Vermont, we're staying at the Spruce Peaks. They've got a Whistle Pig pavilion over there. We've got a live band. We've got a great little atmosphere there for a great social time that night. Then we're heading back down, stopping for lunch in Lenox, Massachusetts on the way back. And then we have a little surprise when we get back to New York. So it's a full weekend, and we lowered the price point. That allows for more people to come out and not have to have the budget, so to speak, that you would need to do one of the larger trips, because they're not objectively cheap. Even like the Europe trips, you're spending $15,000, $20,000 for a vacation, which going to Europe, most people would understand, especially when you're traveling with Ferraris and Lamborghinis and staying at 5-star resorts all over the place. But again, I wanted to make it a little bit more accessible. We did that with Groupon and the rental company. So as the rental company progressed over the years, we started out with the rentals, straight rentals, and we're like, all right, the cars go out, they're out every weekend, sit around a little bit during the week. Why don't we do something to increase the utilization, right? Like get the fleet out a little bit more during the week. That's where we came up with the Dream Car Tours. Then we did this thing with Groupon, when Groupon was sort of at their prime before they screwed it up. We started selling shorter driving experiences. And I'm like, they can't really do anything cheaper than the tour, right? We can't do like, getting involved in these, I would say, test drives or something like that, which you're only doing 10 minutes of driving. It's just logistically a little bit more difficult. It's not as appealing. The sprints, getting something that's like a $99 price point was ripe for Groupon. Now Groupon, we used to do it where we'd sell during the holidays, right? November, December, and we'd do a run on Groupon and do like $400,000 in like a weekend selling on Groupon, selling these things. Then that presents problems, and I'm a problem solver. Groupon, not really good at problem solving. They'd sell all these things. They'd say it's got a 1-year expiration. We'd set a full calendar, right? And the good thing about Groupons and let's just say gift certificates is that, and it's probably well known throughout the industry or throughout the world, but most people don't pay attention to it. A lot of people don't use it. When I say a lot of people, you're talking about 20, maybe 30% of people will never redeem that. So say you sell 100,000 gift certificates, and 30% of them, so 30,000 off the bat is free money, right? It's just not going to be used. It'll sit on your books. If it expires, you still have to give the cash value, but you're not giving the promotional value anymore. Long story, we don't have to get into that. But at the end of the day, these people just, they lose it, they just lose interest, they give it away as a gift, and somebody just decides not to use it. It's standard in all retail and pretty much most events and anything that you sell gift certificates, that 20 or 30% aren't going to use it. So now fast forward, we were running into an issue where everybody would come out, we'd have a great time, and then like there would be a little lull, like say September, October, and we're like, all right, well, there's nobody here. We're like, or there's not as many people here as there should be. Fast forward, then you go out and you say like, all right, well, now we need to figure out how to get these people to come and show up, because come December, when they're all expiring, Groupon would just send out an email and say, hey, your stuff expires in a month. So now we just say we sell 10,000 of them, and 5,000 come throughout the year, and we could do, say, 500 people a month. I'm just making up the numbers now. But then they send out an email in December, and they say, hey, there's 5,000 people that haven't redeemed. Don't forget to redeem. And now you got all these people trying to cram into 500 spots. And there's nothing you can do. We upped the capacity. We tried to get more people in. But I'm like, Groupon, you got to do something here. And we can't go, we're hosting these events throughout the year, and these ones we're losing money because nobody's showing up. Like legitimately, we're paying to have these venues that nobody's showing up. Why don't you send out reminder emails every month or every quarter? I'm happy to do all these people that want to show up, but you got to do it. Groupon decided to then switch and make it so that they sold for specific events. And I'm like, well, that's a problem, right? Like that's going to hurt the space, because when you do that, you've got people now buying these primarily as gifts. I don't know what my friend is doing August 12th. Like I can't give that. If you get them an experience and they can use it whenever they want, that's one thing. If you get it for a specific date, so the sales dropped significantly. The other problem Groupon had was that they allowed all of these companies to come in and start doing it, and some of them were terrible, right? One of these companies went out and they were like, oh, this is great. They went out and bought like a piece of land and paved a racetrack, and it got shut down. They never even got to open the doors because they spent hundreds of thousands of dollars in Groupon money building this track, which they didn't have variances or anything to do. They got shut down by the town and they wasted it. And then they shut down, and all these people that bought their Groupons for GT Dream cars all ended up with holding their Johnson in their hand because there was no track, and they spent all the money. They couldn't refund it. They couldn't do anything. So that was a problem for Groupon. Then you've got the complete, there's no quality control, right? So like we were a good company and we provided these services. We always made good on everything. We gave good cars. These other companies, there was no differentiation. So like we'd have people show up and be like, here, and we're like, that's not even us. So we had the name in the business. We were the Dream Car Sprint was the name, but a lot of people would just show up. They just thought they were buying for us and they were buying for somebody else. And then what do you want me to do? I can't take your voucher for somebody else's company. And even I caught this after the fact. We did accept other companies' vouchers when we start auditing everything. So somebody bought for another company. They got paid. We rendered the service. So I'm giving away something for free, and then somebody else is getting the money for it. So it was tough. Groupon never really dialed it in, so the sales dropped tremendously. The fact that some of the companies were crappy or some of the companies were better, and they were letting anyone sell and do it, it just turned into a hodgepodge of crap. And that was the rise and fall of the Groupon driving experience. But that ran its course. We did millions and millions of dollars worth of those drives. I remember I had 3 separate teams doing 3 different cities sequentially every weekend during the summer months. when we were at the peak of that. So now we're doing that effectively with adventure drives, where we're meeting market demand by coming downstream, making it more attainable to have people enjoy driving and enjoy the luxury of adventure drives without having to have the same deep pockets as the people that come on the longer trips. So check it out, link in the description. June 12th and 13th, it's going to be a little bit larger of a trip than the normal one, so we're going to allow for more cars, but it's going to be a shorter trip. It's a one night, you don't have to take off of work. It's a Saturday morning to Sunday night. Still a great time. Hope to see you out there. And I don't know, we're doing a couple here in New York and one in California in December. So take a look. Link in the description. Rob Ferretti, thanks for watching. I'm going to go see if I can snag a bottle of whiskey. See ya. All right, I've got some good news. You know about my other company, Adventure Drives? Well, it just became a lot more affordable for everybody because we now have weekend drives starting at $995. So that's something you're going to want to check out. Our first one's coming up June 12th and 13th, starting at Mclaren of Bergen County, going right up to Whistlepig Farm in Shoreham, Vermont, staying in Stowe for the night, and coming back down. So it's going to be a lot of fun. You want to check it out, visit adventuredrives.com and you'll see the trips listed there.